Hi, welcome to another episode of Ask Jeff, where we answer whatever question you ask. And obviously, if we're making this particular show featuring a question, then your question made the cut. Does that mean that some questions don't make the cut? Well, that was what I would ask Jeff if I were you, and the answer is yes, some don't make the cut for various assorted reasons. But we said when we started the show that the guidelines were just kind of wide open. You could ask anything. It's up to us to edit and make our editorial decisions based upon the research that the Church at 434 Research Institute does and researching answers to questions no matter what they are. This question comes in, and sometimes while some questions are spiritual and very serious in nature, this one, my reaction to it is it's not as serious as maybe some other questions we have asked. But by the same token, it was asked, and I don't know if the idea was, can we trip him up and give him something that he won't touch or whatever. So anyway, so here it is. Here's the Ask Jeff of the day. Dear Jeff, why do we still use pennies? Well, speaking for the Federal Reserve, I have no answer for you, but just because I love you, because I want to make sure I give you the information that you need to make your life successful, we dove into it. It is that moment whenever you drop a penny on the ground. You drop it, you look at it, and it's that moment of anguished indecision. Should I pick it up or should I just leave it on the ground? Is it worth picking up? And by worth, we mean not the value that it has in commerce, but if we fail to pick it up, what does it say about us? What does it say about the way that we deal with the world? Is it really just garbage? Should we just leave it there? No, we know we should always pick up our garbage. So my advice to you is if you drop a penny, pick it up. But a penny, is it good for anything? Well, you know the old phrase, a penny saved is a penny earned. That goes a long way. If you find a penny with a heads up, some people who believe in luck think it's going to be good luck. Some people need pennies because they have shoes that they have to stick them in. Penny loafers. Go figure. I had a pair of those when I was younger. I vaguely remember that. But are pennies necessary for commerce today, and why do we still have them? That's a really good question, and I have a feeling that that is not the intent of the question when it came in. But here you go. I'm going to give you the answer. There have been a number of times over the course of recent history where there has been a movement out there to do away with pennies. A matter of fact, in 1989, the Rounding Act of 1989 would have made merchants round off prices to the nearest nickel. In other words, if you had to round it up to get to the nickel, great. If you had to round the number down to get to the nickel, so be it. But what the idea was that the law would have made merchants then make sure that when they set the prices, they were able to round those prices up to the nearest nickel, up or down, therefore eliminating forever the penny. And for some reason, pennies annoy people, and I don't know why. But interestingly enough, that law never got any traction. And in a survey that they took right after the law was proposed, came out that 63% of Americans wanted to keep pennies. They wanted to keep them in circulation. It didn't say why, they just wanted to keep pennies. And so people are fond of having that ability to pay with a penny. And the practical question is, what merchant do you know that would round down? They always are going to round up, right? If you owned a business or I owned a business, that's what we do. So the Rounding Act of 1989 was a colossal failure. It never went anywhere. On the other hand, what you do need to know about pennies is making pennies is expensive. The mint makes billions of them a year at the cost of about 0.6 of a cent per penny. Okay, so 0.6 of a cent per penny. And the mint has to keep making them because people, annoyed with the darn things, keep taking them out of circulation. They keep dumping them into jars and bowls, hoping that someday grandma will roll them up and take them to the bank. And so because they are taken out of circulation and we need the pennies, they have to keep making more. The zinc industry also has been a prime driver about why we need pennies because, contrary to popular belief, pennies aren't really primarily copper. They're actually made of zinc. Matter of fact, the penny that you will get this year somewhere with a newly minted year on it will be 97.5% zinc. The American Zinc Association, by the way, tells us that it's a myth that swallowing a penny will cause instant death. So take heart, if you ever swallowed a penny, you're not just going to keel over and die. Zinc is a benign metal, according to the AZA. You have to have a certain amount of zinc every day to be healthy. Now, the spokesman, John Lutley, would not precisely say how many pennies a day you should be swallowing to stay healthy, but the idea is pretty clear. We still have pennies because they have value to people, like it or not. And so, I don't know if you're a pro-penny, I don't know if you're anti-penny. It is an argument that divides us as a nation. But at the end of the day, I don't think pennies are going to disappear. And I think we're more likely to see a lot of coinage just kind of disappear as we continue to go more and more cashless, but that's a whole nother story. And maybe some of you will ask a question about Bitcoin, and we can talk about that one day. But until then, that's the answer to the question, why do we have pennies? Simple answer, because people want them. Secondary answer, and if you swallow one, you won't die. And that's good news. And so until next time, this is Jeff. This is Ask Jeff. Because you asked, we answered.